Okay. Hi, how's it going? This is Six Putt Bobby. I just want to show you what's going on with me. Yesterday I did a leg workout, and now I'm feeling like severe pain. It's right here, so much that I can hardly walk. So I just want to show you my walk. You should have seen me this morning though. Okay, I swear to God, it was like 10 times worse. I had to get up twice during the night to pee, and I was like... what were you like, Rob? Sorry, can you show us one more time? We didn't catch that. What were you like this morning? Oh, okay, I see. You were like that. Like that. Okay, great, thanks. Just clarifying. But anyways, this is how I'm feeling. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Okay. Anyways, you see that? That's kind of like my robot walk. That's what I got going on for me right now. So basically, I'm getting up a little bit early, and I'm taking a bath with Epsom salts.
For failure in leadership. But leadership is hard because we're often caught in a management paradigm. At a final session of a year-long executive development program in Seattle.
Okay, so what you're going to hear now is the 7 habits of highly successful people. And I woke up extra early, and now I'm going to sit in the tub for probably like 19 minutes and listen to this. Get motivated for my day. I highly recommend you do something similar, like get motivated and whatever. I massage my legs, and you can see my faces. It's a lot of pain. I'm going through a lot of pain. Anyways, thank you so much, bodybuilding.com, and thank you to everyone who's watching this on the journey. Let's just keep moving forward. So it's not just about me transforming and changing. It's about you too. Let's work together. Let's just go for it. Come on. All right, guys. It's Bobby Sixpack here. Thanks.
New heading. Rescripting. Becoming your own first creator. As we previously observed, proactivity is based on the unique human endowment of self-awareness. The 2 additional unique human endowments that enable us to expand our proactivity and to exercise personal leadership in our lives are imagination and conscience. Through imagination, we can visualize the uncreated worlds of potential that lie within us. Through conscience, we can come in contact with universal laws or principles, with our own singular talents and avenues of contribution, and with the personal guidelines within which we can most effectively develop them. Combined with self-awareness, these 2 endowments empower us to write our own script. Because we already live with many scripts that have been handed to us, the process of writing our own script is actually more a process of rescripting or paradigm shifting, of changing some of the basic paradigms that we already have. As we recognize the ineffective scripts, the incorrect or incomplete paradigms within us, we can proactively begin to rescript ourselves. I think one of the most inspiring accounts of the rescripting process comes from the autobiography of Anwar Sadat, past president of Egypt. Sadat had been reared and nurtured and deeply scripted in a hatred for Israel. He would make the statement on national television, "I will never shake the hand of an Israeli as long as they occupy 1 inch of Arab soil. Never, never, never." And huge crowds all around the country would shout, "Never, never, never." He marshaled the energy and unified the will of a whole country in that script. The script was very independent and nationalistic, and it aroused deep emotions in the people. But it was also very foolish, and Sadat knew it. He ignored the perilous, highly interdependent reality of the situation. So he rescripted himself. It was a process he had learned when he was a young man imprisoned in cell 54, a solitary cell in Cairo Central Prison, as a result of his involvement in a conspiracy plot against King Farouk. He learned to withdraw from his own mind and to examine as to whether his scripts were appropriate and wise. He learned how to vacate his own mind and through a deep personal process of meditation to work with his own scriptures, his own form of prayer, and to rescript himself. He records that he was almost loath to leave his prison cell because it was there that he realized that real success is success with self It's not in having things, but in having mastery, having victory over self. For a period of time during Nasser's administration, Sadat was relegated to a position of relative insignificance. Everyone felt that his spirit was broken, but it wasn't. They were projecting their own home movies onto him. They didn't understand him. He was biding his time. And when that time came, when he became the president of Egypt and confronted the political realities, he rescripted himself toward Israel. He visited the Knesset in Jerusalem and opened up one of the most precedent-breaking peace movements in the history of the world, a bold initiative that eventually brought about the Camp David Accord. Sadat was able to use his self-awareness, his imagination, and his conscience to exercise personal leadership, to change an essential paradigm, to change the way he saw the situation. He worked in the center of his circle of influence, and from that rescripting, that change in paradigm, flowed changes in behavior and attitude that affected millions of lives in the wider circle of concern. In developing our own self-awareness, many of us discover ineffective scripts, deeply embedded habits that are totally unworthy of us, totally incongruent with the things we really value in life. Habit 2 says we don't have to live with those scripts. We are response-able to use our imagination and creativity and write new ones that are more effective, more congruent with our deepest values and with the correct principles that give our values meaning. Suppose, for example, that I'm highly overreactive to my children. Suppose that whenever they do something that I feel is inappropriate, I sense an immediate tensing in the pit of my stomach. I feel defensive walls go up. I prepare for battle. My focus is not on the long-term growth and understanding, but on the short-term behavior. I'm trying to win the battle, not the war. I pull out my ammunition, my superior size, my position of authority, and I yell or intimidate or I threaten or punish, and I win. I stand there victorious in the middle of the debris of a shattered relationship, while my children are outwardly submissive and inwardly rebellious, suppressing feelings that will come out later in uglier ways. Now, if I were sitting at that funeral we visualized earlier, and one of my children was about to speak, I would want his life to represent the victory of teaching, training, and disciplining with love over a period of years, rather than the battle scars of quick-fix skirmishes. I would want his heart and mind to be filled with the pleasant memories of deep, meaningful times together. I would want him to remember me as a loving father who shared the fun and the pain of growing up. I would want him to remember the times he came to me with his problems and concerns. I would want to have listened and loved and helped. I would want him to know I wasn't perfect, but that I had tried with everything I had, and that perhaps more than anybody in the world, I loved him. The reason I would want those things is because deep down, I value my children. I love them. I want to help them. I value my role as their father. But I don't always see those values. I get caught up in the thick of thin things. What matters most gets buried under layers of pressing problems, immediate concerns, and outward behavior. I become reactive, and the way I interact with my children every day often bears little resemblance to the way I deeply feel about them. Because I am self-aware, because I have imagination and conscience, I can examine my deepest values. I can realize that the script I'm living is not in harmony with those values, that my life is not a product of my own proactive design, but the result of the first creation I have deferred to, circumstances and other people. And I can change. I can live out of my imagination instead of my memory. I can rescript myself. I can reinvent myself. I can tie myself to my limitless potential instead of my limiting past. I can become my own first creator. To begin with the end in mind means to approach my role as a parent, as well as my other roles in life, with my values and directions clear. It means to be responsible for my own first creation, to rescript myself so that the paradigms from which my behavior and attitude flow are congruent with my deepest values and in harmony with correct principles. It also means to begin each day with those values firmly in mind. Then, as the vicissitudes, as the challenges come, I can make my decisions based on those values. I can act with integrity. I don't have to react to the emotion, the circumstance. I can be truly proactive, value-driven, because my values are clear.
Alright, I just finished making this video and I tried to walk to go get some soup for breakfast and I could barely make it to the kitchen. Look, I am struggling, but we can do it. I'm going to work at a different part of my body, probably the upper part.